Welcome, class, to Lesson 5-4. Today, strong mathematicians can convert among customary units of length and measure segments to the nearest 1/8 inch. So today is the customary way. Custom means it's special to our country. And you'll learn more about that. So take out today your notebook, your pencil, write down today's date, the name of the lesson, and let's get started. So our note today, I call this the crazy American way, which is a customary system of measurement. The reason why I call it the crazy American way, there's no reason behind the relationship between measurements. In the metric system, it was always 1 to 10, or 10 to 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, and that's always the same relationship. In the United States, it's all over the board. So we're going to have to roll with it. That's why you can use a note card in your test, because they don't care that you know these measurements by heart, but know how to use and convert between two units of measurement. So notice an inch, a U.S. customary unit of length. So what is an inch? An inch goes from this point right here, the 0, to this 1 right here. This would be an inch. So this is how we'd measure an inch. That is a unit of measurement. So you pause that down, write that down in your notes. Some other words that are important to us. You'll see some other units that we have is we have a foot. A foot is a customary unit of length that's equal to 12 inches. So 1 foot equals to 12 inches. That's that relationship again that we keep talking about. A yard, YD is the abbreviation, is a U.S. customary unit of length that equals to, so 1 yard equals 3 feet, or 1 yard equals 36 inches. And last but not least, we have a mile, or rather the last length of customary length measurement. We know that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards, 5,280 feet, or 63,360 inches. So as you can see, there is no rhyme or reason between the two. They're just numbers that the United States came up with that we all agree to use when we're using miles, yards, feet, and inches. So write down those terms to help us out, and those relationships are even more important as we continue to move through this lesson. So we have a box example again. We have yard and feet. Notice you don't start off with 1, so I'm always goes back to I need to start with 1 and find that relationship, as I always talk about. What is the relationship? So between that, I have to ask myself, what's bigger, a yard or a foot? Well, a yard is bigger than a foot, so that would give me the 1. How many feet are in a yard? I can go back to my notes and see that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So that's my relationship. For every 1 yard, it equals 3 feet. So how did I get from 2 yards to 6 feet? Well, 2 times 3. Now notice that I don't just go in order, so I got to make sure I always take it and times that, well, how many yards I have by that relationship. So 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24. And 10 times 3 is 30. So as I said before, you always want to find this relationship of 1 equals how many of a smaller unit, and then use that to multiply based on how many you have. So you can pause the video right now and write this chart down to help you out. And now we have some other examples. We have feet and we have inches. So in previous things, like we did with the metric system, the process doesn't change. It's just that unit of measurements and that relationships are going to change. So if you ask yourself, what's bigger, a feet or an inch? Well, I know that a feet are bigger than inches. So 1 foot equals how many inches? I can look at my notes. It would be 12. So that for every 1 foot, I have 12 inches. So 26 feet would be 26 groups of 12. So we'll go 26 times 12. We'll do it the parent method. 2 times 6 is 2, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus that 1 is 5. I start with the 10, so that means I put a 0 in the 1s and start right here. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And add those numbers up, and I get there are 312 inches in 26 feet. So we have that for our problem right there. The next one we have, move that over, need some more room for my next one, is miles to yards. Well, what's bigger, a mile or a yard? Well, a mile is a really big unit of measurement. How many yards are in a mile? I could go back to my notes and look. 1,760 yards are in a mile. So that'd be 1 mile, but I have 2 miles, which means I have 2 groups of 1,760. So it'd be 160 times 2. 0, 2, carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So 5, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus the 1 would be 3. So there are 3,520 yards in 2 miles. So you can pause that down. Now write these examples and how we worked it out to help you out in your work. And now it says write the measurement of the line segment to the nearest inch. So if we give you something to measure, you pull out your ruler, we say measure how long this is to the nearest eighth inch. How do you figure this out? Well, first off, where does this eighth inch come in? So if we count how many lines, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 pieces that make up 1 inch. So that's why they're called 1/8 inch. So for each line, this would be 1/8. This would now be, if it goes from here to here, this would be another 1/8, another 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8 to get 8/8 or 1 whole inch. So if we look at our ruler right now, we have 1 whole inch because it goes to the 1. We have 2 whole inches because it goes to the 2. So we have 2 inches. And now we have this little part that's right here from here to there, which is only 1 part of the 8. So it would be 2 and 1/8 inch. And that's how long that line segment would be. So you can pause the video right now and see how we work through that process. And now it's your turn. So you're going to draw a line right now, right? Box 3, now your turn. I want you to fill out the box. We have yards to inches. It looks like we have the relationship found for you. So make sure you go through them all and be able to fill out the chart. And we also have 2 problems when you convert from yards to inches and miles to feet. See if you can solve those problems using those relationships. And last but not least, we want you to write the measurement of the line segment to the nearest 1/8 inch. So you can pause the video. Good luck. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write them down or share those out. If you have any strategies that you use to help you, make sure you include those. That way we can help others who might be struggling. And as always, thanks again for another great lesson.